Jerusalem. Tensions were high in Jerusalem and the West Bank Friday ahead of mass demonstrations called for by the Palestinian leadership in response to a statement made by President Trump recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Israel police spokesman Mickey Rosenfeld said units had been beefed up in and around the Old City. However, he said there would be no restrictions on Muslim worshippers entering to pray at the Holy Haram al-Sharif compound. He said security forces were hoping for quiet but prepared for unrest at the protests set to take place following noontime prayers. On Thursday, Palestinian protesters clashed with Israeli forces in Jerusalem, Ramallah, and other places in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. In some places, demonstrators burning American flags and posters of Trump. Palestinian Red Crescent said that more than 100 people were injured. Following Trump's speech on Wednesday, the Islamist movement Hamas in Gaza urged its followers to ignite a third intifada, or uprising, against Israel. The Palestinian Authority in the West Bank called for 3 days of rage and ordered a general strike, shuttering all its public institutions. Trump's announcement that he would move the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem and his declaration that the United States recognizes Jerusalem as Israel's capital reversed a decades-old U.S. policy. Although it is unclear how Trump's recognition will play out in practice, any perceived changes to the status of the city, holy to Christians, Muslims, and Jews and struggled over for millennia, is a deeply charged issue that resonates beyond the conflict between Israelis and Palestinians. A report by the Associated Press on Thursday said the State Department had no plan to change America's current practice regarding listing Jerusalem as Israel on consular reports of births abroad and on U.S. passports issued in Jerusalem. A thorny issue that reached the Supreme Court in 2015 when American parents vied to have Israeli listed on the passport of their Jerusalem-born son. For Trump, Jerusalem is an extension of a global culture war. Still, the backlash against Trump's recognition of Israel's right to call Jerusalem its capital rippled across the wider region, with hundreds of demonstrators gathering outside the U.S. Embassy in neighboring Jordan holding placards reading "Decision rejected" and "No to U.S. arrogance." Criticisms continued to flow in from governments in the Middle East, Europe, and beyond, with U.S. friends and adversaries alike voicing disapproval and alarm. Turkey's president predicted that the region would ignite in a ring of fire, while European leaders reiterated their opposition to the policy. An 86-year-old Nobel Peace Laureate Desmond Tutu declared, "God is weeping." On the edge of the Palestinian city of Ramallah on Thursday, Israeli forces fired dozens of rounds of tear gas and stun grenades at hundreds of Palestinian protesters airing their anger over Trump's statement, moving quickly to disperse the crowd. "This will be bad," said an ambulance driver in Ramallah as young men burned tires and pelted the soldiers with stones.